Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you all in our webinar. We'll wait for 2 minutes for others to join. All your questions will be answered in the Q&A session only. And I just request you to be on mute all the time. Presentation will not be shared. Please do not ask for it. Webinar recording will be available on our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining again. We just wait for 2 minutes for everyone to join. Let's start our webinar. So this webinar will be conducted by me, Sanchit Puri, and my colleague Salman Dhunna, who is 3 CCIE in DC, wireless, and collab. So now let's see what's the agenda of today's webinar. The what, why, and how of CCIE. What is benefit of being a CCIE? Why Cisco introduced changes to CCIE certification programs? How will it enhance your career? What is CCIE Datacenter version 3.0? Actual changes to CCIE exam format from version 2.1 to version 3.0. What are the actual changes they have brought in? How Okta Networks can help you prepare for your CCIE certification, and then the Q&A session. If you have any questions during the webinar or after the webinar, you can always reach out to us on the chat section. In the Zoom, you might see a chat. You can post your question there, and there will be a Q&A session at the end of this webinar. We'll try to answer all of your questions. All right, so let's jump on what is CCIE. Technical certification offered by Cisco. Now, CCIE is offered by Cisco Systems, which is world's largest networking equipment manufacturer. CCIE is an expert level certification. It is also considered as PhD level of IT certification. It is most respected, prestigious, and highest paid IT certification. Now, CCIE was established to assist the industry in distinguishing the top internetworking experts worldwide. And that is why CCIE is one of the most respected, reputed, prestigious, and highest paid IT certification in the world. Among the industry's most widely recognized and respected certifications, Cisco Expert certifications tell the world in no uncertain terms that you know what you are talking about. Reputation of a technical leader. Now, the CCI community has established a reputation of leading the network industry with in depth technical knowledge and are deployed into the most technically challenging network assignments. Now, there are different areas of expertise. It is currently divided into 6 different areas of expertise or tracks. They are enterprise infrastructure, enterprise wireless, data center, service provider, security, and collaboration. One may choose to pursue multiple CCI tracks in several different categories of Cisco technology. Now the question comes, why to be a CCIE? The first point, and a very important point, remuneration. One of the surprising facts about the CCI certified professional is that the CCI experts are the highest paid IT professionals. It has consistently been at or near the top of the certifications with highest salaries. The demand for CCI professionals is high, but the supply has fallen short over the years. In fact, CCI salary for a fresher is also quite good. Due to low supply, they are paid an excellent remuneration. So there are also international job opportunities. CCIE is accepted globally as the most prestigious networking certification in the industry. Having CCI certification in any of the six tracks means that you have proven track record, mastered your skills in networking technology, and have in depth knowledge of your domain of networking. Exponential growth opportunities. Top IT companies require highly skilled CCI certified professionals for implementing, managing, operating, and troubleshooting their client networks. As of date, IT companies have multiple vacancies for the post of network engineer, network security engineer, IT administrators, principal solution architect, technical consultant, etc. But they are unable to get a skilled professional. Now you'll obviously attract more recruiters. Converged, innovative, and highly secure networks are the requirement of every IT company in today's world. And thus, there is a high demand for the CCI professionals in networking industry. Due to shortage of needed applicants and fast developing next generation technology, the demand of CCIE is rising and attracts more recruiters. With CCIE, your career is secure. The demand for CCIE certified professionals will not be fulfilled in the years to come. That's why the fear of recession is barely any concern for any CCI professional. For companies like Orange, Entity, Dimension Data, TCS, Wipro, etc., implementing complex, innovative, and highly secure network is of immense value, as a downtime in the network for a short period can result in substantial losses. Hence, CCI professionals are of great significance and importance to the IT company. Now, another very important point, prestige and credibility. Passing a CCI examination is considered to be a very difficult task. The CCIE is the most difficult IT certification in the world, and becoming a CCIE makes you a member of an CCI elite club. Having an active CCI certification automatically comes with a lot of prestige. It not only commands respect and admiration from employers, but it also instills confidence and credibility among your customers. Clients start finding you reliable, especially if you are working as a consultant. Now, how to be a CCIE? Now, to be a CCIE, there is a 2-hour technology core exam, and that is the prerequisite for your 8-hour practical lab. So, you need to give your 2-hour technology core exam where you will have your MCQ questions, multiple choice questions, and then you are eligible to go for your 8 hours practical lab. Now the question arises that why Cisco introduced changes to CCIE certification programs. Now why would Cisco make such drastic changes to their certifications? Point number one, outdated technology. Now to answer that, we need to look at how much the IT industry has changed in general. New technologies are being introduced at a rapid pace. Some believe that Cisco wanted to take a step back and make CCI relevant to real world situations because the technology tested in previous CCI lab failed to catch up with the emerging technologies which are currently being used in enterprise network. Because as we all know that the world is emerging towards the automation, but Cisco was lacking behind. Now end to end network life cycle. Cisco wanted to design CCI certifications to validate your end-to-end network lifecycle skills from planning and design to operating and optimizing. In the earlier CCI certification, it tested your configuration, troubleshooting, and diagnosing skills. However, it missed the most critical part, design skills. Industry expects designing skills from CCIE. That's why Cisco introduced the DDOO model. We'll look that into the next slide. But as of now, yes, they have introduced the design skills in all of your CCI exams. Maintaining program quality, relevance, and value. CCIE is industry's most widely recognized and respected certifications. Cisco periodically updates and revises the expert level certification program, its testing tools and methodologies to ensure and maintain program quality, relevance, and value. Critics of network programmability and automation was also not a part of CCI program. SDN in today's world is widely accepted and deployed in many larger enterprise networks. But the previous CCI failed to test your skills on software defined networking skills, SDN. That's why Cisco have introduced automation and network programmability to CCIE exams for every track. Now, the last point says DevNet certification. Now, to fully leverage the capabilities of the new SDN, software defined networking, they have introduced a software skills as a key. So they have introduced new DevNet certification, which provides software skills for network engineers and software developers who work with Cisco technologies. They are not trying to turn network folks into developers, but they are certainly trying to make it easier for us to do our job. Now, how will it enhance our career? New realities of the networking world. Software defined networking, network programmability, and automation are the new realities of an enterprise network. By adding these emerging technologies in CCI Lab, Cisco is trying to strike a balance between networking and software skills. By default, a CCI aspirant will have good enough knowledge of both the domains. Now, the future demands of the marketplace. In near future, there are going to be a huge demand for network engineers with software skills and even software developers with networking skills. This new certification program is making sure that you will be ready to grab these opportunities when it comes knocking at your door. Now, like I said in the previous slide, we'll discuss about DDOO in the next slide. Now, here it comes, the whole 9 yards of DDOO. DDOO is design, deploy, operate, and optimize. Now, in design, you will be able to understand capabilities of different technologies and solutions. You will be able to translate customer requirements into solutions. Deploy, you will be able to implement network according to the design specifications, customer requirement, and restrictions. Operate and optimize, you will be able to monitor network health, network performance, configure the network to improve service quality, reduce disruptions, mitigate outages, maintain high availability, reliability, and even security, as well as diagnose potential issues and adjust configurations to align to changing business goals and technical requirements. Now I have Salman Dhunna with me, my colleague. He will be taking on from the next slide. What is CCI Data Center version 3.0? Salman?
Hi, thank you, Sanchit. So let's talk about what is CCI Data Center. A CCI data center, or you can say Cisco certified inter-network data center expert professional, is responsible for planning, designing, implementation, and management of complex modern IT data center infrastructure. The certified expert will have a good understanding of the requirements of data centers and device configurations. The professional should have in-depth knowledge of layer 2 and layer 3 connectivity, fabric infrastructure, storage networking, planning, automation, and orchestration. Moving towards the next slide, let's talk about how the data center lab exam is going to be. So, CCI Data Center version 3 lab will be again of 8 hours practical exam, which is similar to version 2.1. However, the first 3 hours will be completely based on design section, followed by the next 5 hours will be focusing on deploying, automating, and optimizing the hands-on lab experience. The entire lab will be completely focused on the data center environment and their life cycle. The lab is strongly rooted in its precedents, that is, many of the technology is still in use in the new version of data center version 3. Let's jump to the next slide. So the entire lab is divided into 2 modules. The first module, that is module 1, which is the design module, is completely based on scenarios. You will be given topology, background info of the company, or you can say company requirements or company restrictions, and also email conversation to help you answer with the scenarios. Whereas module 2 will comprise of deploy, optimize, and operating lab as per the requirement mentioned by Cisco. This is still the same as previous version. However, we have been allocated 5 hours of fixed time for this module, whereas for module 1, we have been allocated 3 hours of fixed time. This means in case if you finish the first module before time, that is before 3 hours, and want to start with module 2, you cannot do so. You have to give complete 3 hours to module 1, and then only you can move ahead with the second module. The first module, as I mentioned earlier, will be scenario based, whereas the second module will be hands-on over the lab, over web-based items. The backward navigation is disabled for module 1. For those who has given the Cisco exams previously will be familiar with this feature. You won't be able to go to the previous questions when the questions is answered in this module. For module 2, as it is hands-on lab, you can go anytime to any step which is required. The overall point value for module 1 is hidden. However, for module 2, it is visible. That means Cisco will give you the weightage of each question. Let's jump to the next slide. So the entire lab is going to be a hybrid topology consisting of virtual and physical devices. That means the virtual and physical devices both are equally used in the entire lab. The software used are DCNM. The version given for DCNM in the new lab is 11.x. For CIMC, it's 4.x. UCSD is still used with version 6.x. UCSM, again, which is taken from version 2.1, is still in use with software version of 4.x. And similarly, even Nexus is going to be of the latest version, that is 8.x for 7K, 7.x for 5K, and 9.x for 9K. The hardware is similar to version 2.1, which includes EPIC clusters, Nexus 9K, 5K, 7K with 48 port SFP or SFP Plus. Nexus 2000 series fabric extenders are used along with UCSC and B series servers. VMs in vCenter are still acting as an end host, or you can say server remains the same. Let's jump to the next slide. So this slide shows the marking system of Cisco. For you to pass the lab exam, you should have at least minimum pass score in section 1, in which the maximum score is 37 points, plus minimum pass score of module 2, where the maximum points of this section will be 63 points. The score after addition of both the modules should be equal to or more than the exam cut score. The exam cut score is still not disclosed by Cisco, but there is an assumption that it is around 80%. It means that if the assumptions are correct, you need to score around 80 or more than 80% aggregating of the both the modules. The module cut score are basically based on difficulty level, which means it might happen that for module 1 the cut score is less and for the module 2 the cut score is more and vice versa. Let's jump to the next slide. So this slide basically shows the entire weightage, how the Cisco has divided the lab into different sections. So Cisco has basically divided the lab into 7 major sections. The first section named as Data Center L3 or L2 connectivity, which has the highest weightage of 20%. Second section, Data Center Fabric Infrastructure, is of 15%. Data Center Fabric Connectivity is again 15%. The fourth one, Data Center Compute, is 15% again. The next two sections, namely Data Center Storage Protocols and Features and Data Center Security and Network Services, are 10% each. And finally, Data Center Automation or Orchestration is 15%. Jumping towards the next slide, let's discuss more about particular modules. So the first module, namely Data Center L2 or L3 connectivity, it covers all the layer 2 technologies, that is VPC, port channel trunking, spanning tree protocols, the routing protocols for OSPF, you can say the authentication, the adjacency, network types, LSA types, route distribution has been mentioned. For ISIS, features like point-to-point and broadcast, the network types, levels, the router has been mentioned. For BGP, path selection, route reflectors, route servers, multi-hop, eBGP, etc. are clearly mentioned in the lab blueprint. For multicast, PIM's pass mode, BIDA, PIM Anycast are clearly mentioned. For IGMP, both the version, that is IGMP version 2 and 3, IGMP snooping and all are mentioned. All these are similar to version 2.1. The change here is that Cisco is now being more specific over the area where you need to focus on. Like Cisco has not only mentioned just that you have to focus on all the routing protocols, but he has mentioned that you have to focus on OSPF, BGP, and ISS over here. Let's jump to the next slide. Here, let's discuss about second module of the blueprint, that is Data Center Fabric Infrastructure. The physical components are defined in this module. The controllers, network managers, switches, along with fabric discovery is to be well versed for this section. Fabric policies include access policy, multi-tenancy, monitoring policy. Apart from this, tenant policies containing application profiles and EPGs, networking, security has to be focused on. One should have a good knowledge of detecting faults in ACI. You should be very good in learning and reading all the faults which you will be facing. You might be having an issue that where you have to just detect the fault and answer the question accordingly. So you need to be well versed with all the faults. Again, all the sections are similar to version 2.1. So you might not be getting anything new over here. However, being good with faults and the basic fabric details will be good enough over here. Let's jump to the next slide. Module 3, that is Data Center Fabric Connectivity. This section contains both the traditional and future-based connectivity, which means the L3 out with respect to OSPF and BGP is included in the blueprint. Apart from multi-site and multi-pod, virtual pod and remote lift technology is included in inter-fabric connectivity. For overlays, VXLAN EVPN with ACI is included. Let's jump to the next slide. In version 2.1, the storage protocol and compute were into the same module. However, in version 3 of Data Center, this section is divided into two modules. The first one, that is Data Center Compute. This section comprises of compute technologies similar to version 2.1. That includes creating and modifying UCS policies, profiles, and templates, and working on SAN or LAN uplinks. The addition to this is Hyperflex. Now you should have a good knowledge of Hyperflex. Apart from this, Intersite is removed from this section and is placed properly in Orchestration module. Again, this module borrows heavily from CCI Data Center version 2.1 blueprint. So if you have attempted the 2.1 lab, so you might be very much familiar with all these things except for Hyperflex. Let's jump to the next module. Talking about storage protocols and features, zoning, NPV, NPIV, trunking, port channel, and load balancing, iSCSI, authentication, and multipath is still included in v3. Cisco is being more specific here. That is, Cisco has not just asked us to keep good knowledge of storage protocol, but has properly defined where our area of expertise should be. Apart from all this, ROCE, which stands for RDMA over Converged Ethernet version 2 over IP networks, is included in version 3 of CCI Data Center. Let's jump to the sixth module. In this module, we need to have a complete focus on security features like ACL, first hop security, port security, contracts, and private VLANs in terms of ACI. Apart from this, we need to focus on RBAC features like configuring radius, TUCAC plus, LDAP, and AAA authentication. Network service insertion and redirection, which includes inter-VRF communication, policy-based routing, route targets, and prefix list are being introduced. For services, you should know configuring span, SNMP, syslog, DHCP, and NTP. For traffic management, a good knowledge of QoS components like queuing, policing, and COP will be a must. Jumping on the last module, that is data center automation and orchestration. In automation, we will need to have a good idea about creating and deleting, updating, deploying, and modifying configurations using Python, which is again similar to the last version, that is version 2.1, as well as Ansible, which is introduced in version 3. For orchestration, we should have good knowledge with tools such as DCNM. We should be familiar with UCSD task and workflow. Cisco is being more specific here, which means that we might just need to focus on modifying tasks and workflow rather than creating them from scratch. Intersite as well as Cloud Center deployments and applications are still included in version 3. Let's just go to next slide. So the comparison of version 3 and version 2.1. So if we compare the both versions, the changes that are made in version 3 for almost all the technologies, the action verbs like describe, identify, explain, implement, and all such action verbs are removed. This not only expands the coverage of all blueprint items, but also make us more exam focusing on a wider network lifecycle scope. More structured approach in the new blueprint. The fair example will be multi-pod, multi-site, and intersite removed from module 1 of version 2.1 and is placed to proper module in version 3. Some technologies which are not being used much in today's world are being removed from blueprint. For example, OTV. There is no removal of hardware. The only addition to the hardware is for the new technologies which are added like virtual pod and remote leaf. All the software are upgraded to the latest version of the software available with Cisco. Let's jump to the next slide. Now, if we talk about the changes in terms of topics, OTV, AV, AVE, and Hyper-V switches is removed from the new blueprint, whereas Hyperflex, Virtual Pod, Remote Leaf has been added. Most of the technology from the old version are retaken into CCI Data Center version 3, as they are yet relevant in today's industrial network environment. Moving ahead, I will ask my colleague Sanchit to take over from here.
Thank you, Salman. All right, so now let's come to the design module. CCI Data Center design module. This is just an example. This is the sample design question. People who have already attempted or passed CCDE might get confused with the design module. So let me explain you the difference between CCDE and the design module. CCDE exam is a high level design. It's like you create an HLD, high level design document. Whereas the design module in enterprise is technical level design. We can call it as LLD, low level design. Design module is based on the technical requirement, and whereas CCD exam is based on the high level requirement. So in this design module, it is scenario based. You will be given topology, background info of the company, company requirements, company restrictions, and also email conversations to help you answer the scenario. So here's an example of the design module. How will it be in the exam? So this is an email from Shriram abcxyz.com to CCI aspirant, which is you, and the subject is reply to multicast support, which means that you have already sent them an email and they are replying to your email which had a subject multicast support. So they said, hi, our technical team had a con call with Tata Communications, and it was decided that L3 VPN service will be used only for DCI connectivity. However, they informed us that they will not be able to support MVPN until the lockdown is over. Meanwhile, we want to extend the multicast application on our Mumbai data center. Is there any way we can devise a solution to this issue? Okay, so there is a service provider. They had a con call with Tata Communications, and what you had suggested them, they want to implement that now. So this is how the email example will be given in the exam, and with this email there will be an options given. Which option could resolve the layer 2 extension design requirement? Choose one. So if you have a basic knowledge of CCI data center, you will be able to answer this question. The answer to this is the first option. Use L2TP version 3 to connect Mumbai and Bangalore DC over L3 VPN. I will not go into the technical discussions as of now, but to tell you the answer, I just told you that it's the first option. Now there can also be a branching question to this, that what is the advantage of the same question over the other options, or it can be like drag all the options from left to right, that abcxyz should deploy for L2P version 3. Now abcxyz is just a name of the company. The company name can be anything. Okay, so this is basically the example of the design module. How Okta networks can help you prepare. So now you guys know what is CCIE, how to be a CCIE, what are the changes in data center CCIE. Now Okta networks can help you become a CCIE. Okta networks is the world's only Cisco training institute with two ex-CCDEs as mentor, hepta CCIEs as master trainers. So in the world, Okta Networks is the only institute who have CCDE certified trainers and with hepta CCIE, and they are Joachim Fernandez and Arshad Dhunna. World's only institute offering boot camps for all the CCIE certifications, whether it's wireless, whether it's data center, enterprise, you name it, and we have it. More than 8 years of delivering quality and innovative training. World's largest Cisco labs with CCI racks for all CCIE tracks. Now, you will be having all the devices you need to practice the lab, whether it's virtual, whether it's physical, all the device you need for your CCI track, we have it. State of art infrastructure. Now we have digital whiteboards, we have smart TV, we have projectors, guest Wi-Fi enabled for all the students, and many more things you'll see when you will visit our center in Mumbai. And I would also recommend you all to visit our center in Mumbai. We have also trained more than 10,000 CCI students, biggest pool of CCIE certified trainers. All the trainers in every track, whether it's CCI data center, whether it's enterprise infrastructure, whether it's wireless, whether it's collaboration, whether it's service provider, all the trainers are CCIE certified in their respective fields. We are also the first one to inform about any changes in Cisco certification. Example, CCI DC version 2.1, certification revamp, Cisco on View certification. Okta Networks has always been the first one to inform you any changes, whether it was CCI version 2.1, any changes in the certification. When the CCI DC version 2.1 came, we were the first one to tell all of you guys that there is something needs to be, that Cisco is introducing changes in DC version 2.1. And still, I think we are the first one doing all the webinar series for all our CCI tracks, informing you about all the changes in upcoming certifications. Our track record. Our track record has been very great. Now, 85% students get placed without even appearing for the CCI lab, meaning whoever takes us the technology boot camp or something like that, they just get replaced in the companies without even appearing for the CCI lab. And whoever appeared for the CCI lab, they have 90% success ratio in the first attempt. Inviolable track record of students enrolling for their first CCI and go on to achieve multiple CCIEs. Trained CCIEs in almost all serial number ranges, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, and even 60K. Unique distinction of having trained India's first CCI security version 5.0, collaboration version 3.1, version 2.1. Okta Networks has always been the first institute in the world from where all the CCIs get certified first. Like when the CCI security version 5.0 came, Okta Networks was the first institute from where the first student got certified in CCI version 5.0. Now, some of the names I would like to take here, like Francisco Solano, is a 5 CCIE. Hayu Dong, Jasmine Abdul Karim, Bala Murugan, Prasanna, Muhammad Wali. There are so many students who are, you know, with us for continuous support, and we are still, and we still hope, and for our, we are striving and hope to replicate the same success for the new version as well. Now we have also have two offerings for our training: CCI Data Center version 3.0, Zero to Hero for freshers. Now, Zero to Hero is for who have no hands-on experience and who has just came out of a college. It will start from like CCNA, CCNP, and then CCIE, basically for freshers. And the second one is CCIE Data Center version 3.0 Bootcamp for experienced professionals who already have 5-10 years of industry experience can opt for CCIE Data Center Bootcamp, which will go for 30 days. These are some key highlights you will be having in our CCI training, guaranteed to run training. Now, it doesn't matter if there are 2 students, if there are 3 students, if we have given you some day that your batch will start on this and this day, the batch will start. Highly motivated, passionate, and experienced Cisco certified trainers, CCIE concepts, theoretical and practical on Cisco devices. Like I said in the previous slide, whether it's virtual, whether it's physical, you name the device of track in which you are, and we will have that device. 120 hours of classroom training with interactive whiteboard and projector. Convenient batch timings from early morning to late night. 24/7 access to CCIE lab equipment for students. We understand that sometimes you have a job and a family and you don't get a particular time to practice the lab. You can do the practice whenever you are free, whether in the morning or in the night. Pre-certification and post-certification support and guidance. If you want to know any prerequisites for the CCI training or the post-certification to help you place a job or anything you want support or guidance, we are here for you. Students can attend classes till they get their doubts cleared. 24/7 access to trainers or mentors. Like I said, if you are busy with your job or some other work and you couldn't ask the doubts at that particular time, you can ping us anytime you are free. Outstation students. Now we can help you in visa guidance, accommodation, food, and local convenience. So if a student is a coming out of India, we can help you in everything you need to come here. Now, if you have any questions, you may please ask in the chat section. We'll be more than happy to assist you guys. So Lloyd is asking, will the training be conducted on real physical devices or virtual devices? And how many hours of rack access do we get? So the training will be conducted on physical devices and virtual devices, both of them. You will be getting 120 hours of rack access. Alok is asking, are your trainers CCIE DC certified and who will be the trainer? Yes, our trainer is CCIE DC certified, and for the CCI data center, the trainer will be Salman Dhunna, who took the technical part. Shifali is asking, I had enrolled for CCIE DC version 2.1, and however, due to COVID 19, I was not able to get a seat. Do I need to get re enrolled with full fees or do I get some discount? Yes, Shifali, we'll surely help you with that. Please leave your email and your phone number with us in the chat section, and our management team will get back to you. There is one candidate who is named Galaxy Note 9. I think he or she had forgot to rename himself or herself. And you're asking, what is the cost for Zero to Hero? I would recommend you to please leave your email ID and phone number for the training cost. Elijah, can you send me quotation for lab exam plus rack rental? Yes, we can, of course. Please leave your email ID and your phone number. I'll forward that to my management team. They will reach out to you for sure. Okay, Anwar. So Galaxy Note 9 is Anwar. Suraj is asking, I have passed my CCIE DC written. Will I be able to attempt the new CCIE DC lab? Yes, of course. The CCIE DC written has been replaced by CCNP DC core exam. If you will open up your certification portal, your CCIE DC written might already have been updated to the new one. Scheider, please leave your email ID and your phone number. We will surely reach out to you. Rafik is asking, is this training on site only? As you would be aware, due to COVID, travel is restricted. Is there any other ways we can do this training? Yes, you can do this training online with our Zoom sessions. We understand that due to COVID, travel is restricted. So, yes, we also have an option for online training. I am a working professional and I'm keen to know that do you offer weekend batch? Yes, we do offer a weekend batch. And also there are options in weekend batch. If you want to attend in the morning or in the night, we can help you with that. Surinder is asking, can you share the webinar recording and presentation? Yes and no. Webinar recording will be uploaded to our YouTube channel and we cannot share presentation. Sorry. Rizam is asking at what time your online classes will start. We have multiple timings for online classes. Okay, so all the questions are now repeating. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time and joining our webinar. I hope we helped you in your CCIE questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.